So let us get the sad news out of the way first, because around SmackDown time we did learn that Blair Davenport, Sonya Deville, the AOP, Cedric Alexander and Paul Ellering, well, they've been released, or they've been told their contracts weren't going to be renewed. Now, it's always horrible and I send them all my best, but if you are one of these terrible human beings that for some reason kind of celebrate such events, just stop watching this show and never come back. We don't need you. Genuinely though, I send them all my best wishes, and of course they're all super duper whooper talented, so I'm sure success is in their future, because always remember, you don't get to WW by accident. You gotta have something. So hello my friends, we will now try and move past that, because again the whole point of wrestling and shows like Ups and Downs is to try and distract us from the sadness of the world. So I am Simon Miller, this is the Finger of Power, I did just watch SmackDown, so let's give the good bits an up and the bad bits a down. When we sort of have the best problem ever, because this Jey Uso is absolutely incredible. I also find it bonkers that people are still moaning about his Royal Rumble win online. Like, you don't have to like it, you don't have to be a fan of Jey Uso. But if you don't watch SmackDown and Raw and go, well, quite clearly I can see why WWE did this, you must be actually staring at a lemon and thinking that is professional wrestling, because his entrance is so damn cringy. It happened again. On Monday, everyone was like, oh, we want you to repeat it. And here, he had to do another encore too, which is actually very worrying, because probably on a future show, the whole 2-hour or 3-hour running time is just going to be Jey Uso's entrance. Yeet. The dude then continued to be the best babyface. He was just thanking everyone, saying, oh my gosh, you've given me the best week of my life, when he reminded us, oh yeah, I've got to pick a WrestleMania opponent. I was like, well, I'll do it. But I remember that's not how it works. I am declaring for the 2026 Royal Rumble, though. We talked about this, and again, it doesn't even have to be the match. I'll aim for the pre-show panel. And just when he did say Cody Rhodes' name, Wrestling Rule 14.8 was in force, and out came the American Nightmare. Because you say a wrestler's name, they will appear like Pokemon, and of course Cody was limping here, because he had almost been murdered by Kevin Owens, or zombie Kevin Owens I should say, at the Rawlist of Rumbles when he said, listen, my doctor has told me I am beat up, but you know what part of me is still working? My heart. And I was like, well, obviously Cody, otherwise you'd be dead. That's not the point. The point is, it's beating for the fact Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. They hugged as well, so this was like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny meeting up, and Cody was like, oh my gosh, are you gonna choose me? And Jey was like, oh my gosh, I may choose you. That's what all Royal Rumble winners do. They have to ponder on it for a few weeks. Rhodes even mentioned the time that they were a tag team, and don't forget that's probably a huge reason all this took off to begin with, because they were so entertaining together, and just when they were like, man, we're gonna be the best of buddies for life, no matter what happens, out came Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, because they do not like love. I can't lie, even this made me very excited, especially because Tama Tonga was doing his whole yip, 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 yip thing. When Jacob Fatu just got the mic and he was like, listen, that world championship that you stole, Cody Rhodes, it does have to come back to the family, but you ain't bringing it back, Jey. Mostly because he doesn't like him. So essentially, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga had looked at each other and gone, shall we go out there and just tell them that we hate them? And Tama Tonga had gone, yes. He also called Jey Uso Mr. Yeet Man. We should put that on a t-shirt tomorrow, the MYM. Apparently you can't say that to Jey, because he instantly super kicked Tama Tonga right in the face. That set Fatu off as well, and he went right after Cody Rhodes' broken body. He was like, I am in so much pain. But of course, Jey Uso got involved, and eventually our two baby faces got rid of them and knocked them out the ring. Of course, this also led to our main event being a tag team match, and I can't lie, I was super pumped for this, because they all just do have great chemistry, but the secret sauce here was Cody looking at Jey and Jey looking at Cody being like, oh my gosh, we are gonna have to get super serious. We do go to WrestleMania. Don't worry, I definitely think he is gonna put Gunther, but up. It was a good old time. When we got our first Elimination Chamber qualifying match, it was indeed Bianca Belair taking on Piper Niven. Now these two always have great chemistry together, and it is so nice to see Bianca back in the singles division. And what I do like about this is actually at the moment, WWE has balanced that we do need to do this, but also that Bianca Belair is a tag team champion, because of course Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are sniffing around. I give you a spoiler for later, somebody else does that and it's not as well balanced. Now Belair must have put on full meters before she went to the ring, and she did not tell Piper, which by the way is not the etiquette when you are playing the video game, because she was going for the KOD instantly. Now of course, Piper Niven's health bar hadn't been reduced that much, so she was okay. But from this point on, Bianca was just like KOD, 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 and she couldn't get it. Niven also pulled her hair to get back in control and basically squished her into Barry Barricade. When Bianca came back with the crossbody, And I tell you, everybody is using that move these days. Niven then just headbutted her, because that will do it, so Bianca gave her a spear, when essentially Piper got the Vader bomb. But very sadly for her, only got the 1-2-0. Of course, Piper Niven then went pure Batman Arkham Asylum because she rang at Bianca Belair, who got out the way, and because that did create some space, Bianca hit this KOD, and it really is quite the sight. WWE should charge tourists to see this. She got the win, she's going to the chamber. I mean, the fact that she did tease her finish throughout the match too and then hit it, that's just good wrestling, and I would presume that Naomi gets into this match too, because she also has a qualifier next week. Then I think these two fall out, probably over Jade Cargill. And I've been saying that for about 4 months now. Also, they're terrible investigators, because I swear nobody's actually looking for who took out Jade. But I'm giving it an up. Good match. Carmello Hayes and Nick Aldis were then chatting in the back. When Carmelo was like, I want to fight someone. And Nick was like, oh great, you can fight this guy from Raw. And Tozawa was there. Honestly, we treated him like he was nothing. And actually, it was going to turn out kind of okay. Also, what an awful week Tozawa has had. Remember in the Royal Rumble when he got taken out and nobody in WWE cared, and they got a replacement for him instantly? Still hurts. We did switch to DIY before this because of course they still are the tag team champions. That's basically what Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano said. They were like, ha ha, Motor City Machine Guns, you lost, you ain't gonna get another shot. But given that you were our favorite tag team 11 years ago, we are just going to stand here and mourn the demise of your wrestling career. Do you know what some people and fans did? They stood up. I was like, I don't think you're listening to what they're saying. Now, Pretty Deadly interrupted here, mostly because it is professional wrestling and somebody has to interrupt. But they were like, oh, hi, DIY. You keep going on about the fact you are the tag team champions, but do you remember who helped you every single week? It was us. DIY didn't seem interested in this at all. They're like, man, we ain't giving you shib. When Nick Aldis walked down and said, listen, you ain't the GM, and you ain't the GM. In case you've forgotten, I'm the GM, and I'm going to make this match right now, and if Pretty Deadly do beat you, they will be the #1 contenders. Oodalally. DIY was still in their street clothes too, which I thought was a very nice touch. And this only went about 2 minutes, and who had that on their bingo card? I mean, nobody. It's not how bingo works. This was so damn short and nuts that Kit Wilson and Elton Prince basically did a hot tag almost instantly when they were hitting double teams and getting 1-2-oohs, and that basically told you, well, of course, they're not going to win. When DIY started pulling people's hair, which I thought was very not couth, given that Tommaso Ciampa doesn't have any, when all of a sudden Ciampa went for the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment surprise roll-up, so Pretty Deadly went, nah, brah, and they reversed it into their own most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, and my flubbins, they beat them. This also does mean, yes, Elton Prince and Kit Wilson are now the #1 contenders for the tag team titles. Given that we did get some more of this later, we are sort of moving the pieces around when it comes to the SmackDown tag team scene. That was gibberish, the SmackDown tag team scene. But it still kind of feels like it needs more. However, I will take Pretty Deadly being given a push, and I guess kind of becoming baby faces here. We did have to do something with them, and maybe as good guys, they can finally fund their musical. I ain't letting that one drop. I thought this was good. The Miz then seemingly tried to make friends with Andrade again. I was like, Miz, you've tried this. Andrade turned around and went, yeah, we have done this, and I know how to beat you. Cody Rhodes then walked in, and I thought the Miz was like, oh, great, we can now be moody legends together. And Cody was just like, no, I don't want anything to do with you, you suck. Miz then decided he would be an asshole, because he was like, well, maybe you should be worried about Jey Uso, because how's your friendship with Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes? Do you want that to happen with Jey? Because it most certainly could. Listen, he got in Cody Rhodes' head, because he did this. I think he's worried. This is when Drew McIntyre stormed to the ring. I tell you, I stopped everything, which isn't true because I was watching SmackDown and I wasn't doing anything else, but the point is, he's much watched TV. Now, Drew McIntyre did address the fact that when he left the Rumble, he was so damn pissed off when he woke up the next day and he realized, well, I know why I'm mad. It's because Raw is a toxic workplace. Maybe he'd been talking to Britney Spears. Now, there was a lot of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, because of course those rumors have been running wild, but he has come to an epiphany, and he has left Monday nights to join SmackDown, because apparently General Manager Nick Aldis had told him, oh, hey, Drew, you can do whatever the hell you want. I tell you, that's going to bite him in the ass. Drew also looked right to the camera here too and said, oh, by the way, I am here, because I'm coming after you, Cody Rhodes, and your WWE title. So put that one in your back pocket, it's been planted. He also then had another meltdown because Jimmy Uso came to the ring. This was so good. He was like, man, you just whine and whine. You sound like somebody's ex-girlfriend. Also, nobody has stolen anything from you, which you keep saying you lose. Deal with it. Jimbo was also pissed off because, of course, he is about to be in a triple threat match, as well as Drew McIntyre, and the winner of that will be going to the Elimination Chamber. And Jimmy was like, yeah, that's gonna be me. I tell you, I thought about it. I actually wouldn't have minded that at all. McIntyre sort of laughed this off because, again, he's trying to be the new happy Drew McIntyre when the old Drew returned. Because not only did he call Jimmy J, he was like, I'm so sorry, I still get you two confused. And really, if you had started saying yeet first, you probably now would have been the Royal Rumble winner instead. I was a bit like, didn't Jimmy Uso used to wear yeet clothing back in 2021? We're going to need a documentary on this. LA Knight then entered the fray because he was going to be the third man in this triple threat, and hot damn, round of applause for Mr. La Knight. So I don't know why he did this, but he looked into the camera and just wanted to say, listen, if you are going through a hard time, it's okay to be sad and it's okay to cry. I was like, damn it, LA Knight, I'm happy you said that. We talk about that all the time here on Ups and Downs because it's true, we have tears for a reason. So if you want to have water coming out of your seeing devices, do it, man. There ain't nothing wrong with it. Basically, he was advocating for mental health, and I'm never going to get mad about that. When he basically went right back into promo land. Not only did he call Drew McIntyre Drew McIntyre, which is genuinely funny, he then went, oh man, I better get my stuff in. Yeah. And Drew McIntyre was laughing once again. This was a callback to all those rumors about the Royal Rumble. I do believe we got worked, and good. I want wrestling to work me. They then had this match. Man, it was full on yeet. Oh, it was really good. Jimbo was hitting Samoan drops, which was totally fine because he is Samoan. When Knight just started slapping people, and also when Drew and LA got into it, they were definitely throwing some bones, because once again, they wanted you to believe they were actually having a scrap. Uso then did a dive because it is 2025, and as they were on the outside, and all of that rhymed, LA Knight did that thing when he grabbed people's heads and just slammed them into on the announce table. I think it's his favourite thing to do. McIntyre then smashed Jimmy Uso in the corner, although somehow Jim was able to use that and the rope to go after McIntyre's penis when we got this great, I guess, Tower of Doom spot, because Drew McIntyre saw everybody else on the top rope and he went to do a German suplex and they all came falling down. I tell you, if you have 10 to 15 minutes today, this is way worthy of your time. It's pretty flipping good. Knight still got his elbow win, but Jimmy Uso broke up at the 1-2-ooh when McIntyre was hitting spine busters, and he was also getting 1-2-oohs. And listen, at one point Jimmy stopped the Claymore kick and he was able to get his splash, and he would have won this if it wasn't for those meddling kids or Drew McIntyre pulling the referee out before he could make the 3 count. Now listen, actually Drew is well within his rights here, because do you remember how many times the Bloodline did that to him? Otherwise he would have been the WWE champion. And he talked about that in his promo earlier too. Drew remembers. Jim was so damn mad though, he kind of used Alan the announce table once again to get Drew McIntyre out of the ring when he was going for the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, and that didn't work. When LA Knight was like, screw this, I'm gonna hit you with the BFT. When Drew McIntyre returned, he claymored LA Knight in the back of the head. He died. Drew pinned him. 1, 2, 3. McIntyre going to Toronto. So just go and watch this today. It is one of the best 3-ways we've seen in a long old time, especially on TV. Up. Damian Priest then being interviewed, and apparently Braun Strowman is plugged into management more than he is, because Braun walked up and went, hi. We didn't say that. He went, hi. Did you know there's going to be a triple threat match next week between you and us and Jacob Fatu, and the winner of that is also going to the chamber. I think we can all work out what's going to happen there. We then got an update on the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn situation. And seriously, this car that Kevin Owens cuts promos from is going to have to go into the WWE Memorabilia Hall of Fame, because this dude is sat in that vehicle and he is spitting fire every single week. Because he could not believe what Sami Zayn had done at the Royal Rumble, because not only did he not help him when Cody Rhodes was trying to kill him, but also in the actual Rumble itself, what did Sam do as soon as he saw Roman Reigns was in trouble? He helped him. Look, I want to be that guy. Mr. Kevin Owens is totally correct. He also told Sam he was a terrible friend and he's never gonna forgive him. And listen, all of this is on social media. In fact, I even tweeted it out on my profile, Simon316. I know I shouldn't have given myself my name. I didn't know what my future held, but you have to go and watch it today because it's so damn good. I don't even have an argument for it anymore in my own brain. Kevin Owens is in my top 5 wrestlers of all time. That's how good I think he is. There's nothing that he can't do. And this just made me even more invested in the Kevin Owens-Sami Zayn feud, and that's what I've wanted for ages. So I am going to give it an up, mostly because I feel like I should stop talking about it so you can go and watch it. Kevin Owens is the modern day GOAT. I mean, I Do have to say that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn often say that they've fallen out and they're never going to forgive each other, but that's another reason they had the best chemistry ever. You can do it till the cows come home, and every time this bald idiot's going to be excited. Carmello Hayes then walked to the ring and he said Tozawa looked like Cody Rhodes that had been left in the dryer. I was like, oh man, that's actually really funny. I also want to point out that while wins and losses are important, some people are able to handle a bunch of losses, and that is Carmello Hayes. Ever since he's been called up to the main roster, well, he has just fit in effortlessly. I also really enjoyed this match because we gave Tozawa a little bit of something. Like, it must have gone 7 minutes, but he hit some DDTs and he hit some cross bodies, because of course he did. And while you knew he was never going to get the victory, he just deserved something, and this was something. Sadly though, eventually Hayes remembered that Tozawa had an arm, so he was just ripping away at that thing. And again, Tozawa did have a bit of a flurry, then he got DDT'd, he got hit with nothing but net. 1, 2, 3. Yes, Carmelo still definitely needed a win because he has lost a lot recently, and he even stood on the ropes and did the buried motion with his hands. So I love this new WWE. There are insider references everywhere, and I'm excited to see what Carmello Hayes does next. I just think he is entertaining. Joe Tessitore then told us he had reached out to Paul Heyman and asked for medical updates on Roman Reigns, and of course nobody had got back to him. What are you going to do next week? Hi, Mr. Heyman. Can you tell us about Roman Reigns' recent dental appointment? No? Let the man have a personal life. I think we then got the best segment of the night, because R-Truth was trying to help Tozawa in the back, but when he saw Jey Uso, he just physically dropped him on the floor. I mean, that may have been a heel turn. It was also very funny. As always, R-Truth is just the best, because he said, well done on winning King of the Ring, Jey Uso, when he did leave. This is when Cody walked in, he said, Jey, have you made your decision? Jay's a bit like, no man, it's only been like an hour. What did you think was going to have changed? Now, of course, we did this to show that maybe Cody is a little bit worried. But once again, it is going to be fine. Jey Uso definitely going to pick Gunther. When Charlotte Flair was here, and listen, maybe I'm a nerd, maybe I'm an idiot, I'm both these things, but I am starting to believe that all of this is planned, and WWE knew exactly how the fan base was going to react to Charlotte, and now she's just leaning into it, because here, she was like a mega heel. Now, I kind of thought this on Raw as well, but people told me I was a moron. And the first thing she did do was gone, well, are you going to love me today, or are you going to hate me? It's like, man, it's like when I go home for Christmas. And she doesn't care because she knows that she's living rent-free in everybody's heads. That's the whole point here. You fans are obsessed with me. And she said something on the lines of, you think I'm the best because I'm the best because you think I'm the best. I don't know what she was talking about, but the point is she thinks she's the best. Flair also said it was so obvious she was going to win the Rumble because everybody else in it was unserious. So once again, come on, man. She's a bad guy. And this is the way too, because she's so damn good at the role. When she reminded us of her travel plans, she's been to Raw, she's been to NXT, and now she's on SmackDown to talk to Tiffany. And then her music hit instantly. Wrestling Rule 14 points. Tiffany made it very clear that she's always been a massive Charlotte Flair fan, and that when Charlotte got taken out injured, Tiffany was worried how the WWE was going to survive. This made it sound like the WWE had been kidnapped and Charlotte Flair was the negotiator. I don't think that happened. Or maybe it did in 2019. WWE is pretty bad in 2019. The thing is, though, Stratton then took the reins, and now, look, business is better than ever, and that's nothing to do with you, Charlotte Flair, because once again, you weren't even around. Shots fired. Charlotte was then great though, because she cut Tiffany off and said, excuse me, you only speak when you're spoken to, and it's the cadence in the voice, man. She sounded like an absolute asshole. Stratton then fired back by saying, listen, everybody calls me a wannabe Charlotte Flair, but that's why you should choose me at WrestleMania, because I'm gonna beat you, and I gotta put that to bed. The fans were super into this as well, because Tiffany Stratton has become a babyface organically, so all of this was perfect. When Charlotte was like, you know how I said Rhea Ripley was a kid? Well, you're a baby, man, because look at you begging for a match. Maybe you should get on your knees and do it more. I was like, Tiffany, definitely don't do it. Of course, Nia Jax then walked out because she loves doing this. She said something along the lines of, oh, look at this blondie back and forth. Candice LeRae, who was with her, laughed at that. It was quite funny. The thing is, all of this is for nothing because next week Nia Jax will be the champion because she has a championship match against Tiffany Stratton. Now listen, I get it. It just feels like Nia Jax has title shots all the time. But she did lose her SmackDown belt because of a cash-in. She hasn't got a rematch. It's deserved. Alexa Bliss then arrived for no reason when I realised she was here for an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. She's taken on Candice. So I liked all of this because once again, Tiffany is becoming a babyface and Charlotte is just the heel. And I think this is the program we should do. When they were in the ring together, you can feel it. They got the chemistry. I also think Charlotte Flair is just great in this role. And for whatever reason, that's not a popular opinion. But I really enjoy her. Like I say, she comes across like such a villain. I'm giving it now. When Alexa did qualify for the Elimination Chamber, and thank goodness we did do that, it is so amusing how over she is. Everybody loves her. And look, listen, yes, fine. There were a few wibbly-wobbly spots in this, but Alexa Bliss has been out of the game for almost 2 years, and when you put that into consideration, well, I thought she did flipping damn good. It was mostly nice and simple too, because he was going for the Sister Abigail, or the Abigail DDT as it's now known. When Candice was like, nope, you're not doing that, and she went after her neck, and she even hit a neck breaker because she's totally unhinged. Alexa soon tricked Candice into Team the Turnbuckle, but that was a terrible mistake because Candice went to the ring apron and basically smushed Alexa Bliss into this. And I was like, man, I think Alexa had forgotten about all our ringside friends. Because of course it is the hardest part of the ring. This is when LeRae was just flinging Alexa Bliss around, which looked kind of crazy. When she decided to go Sonic, she ran really fast. She got hit with the Abigail DDT, that the commentators made it very clear is what it is now called, and she got the 1-2-3. So this was totally fine. I mean, it was mostly Alexa Bliss getting her legs back under her, whatever that stupid phrase is. I don't think she's going to win the Elimination Chamber, but Liv Morgan is in it. I think there's some WrestleMania plans there. Chelsea Green was then doing an interview because she will be facing Naomi next week to see who is going to the Elimination Chamber. When Meechin and B-Fab walked in and said, US champion Chelsea Green, maybe we'll win that belt. When Zelina Vega walked in and went, US champion Chelsea Green, maybe I can win that belt too. I was like, listen everyone, only one of you can win it. And now look, I like everybody involved in this, especially Chelsea Green. I think she is lightning in a bottle. The only real shame here is that she is not allowed to push this US Championship harder. I think, especially because SmackDown is 3 hours, she should be in the ring every week doing promos, just making it feel like the most important thing ever. At the moment it's basically just people talking about it. I don't want to be that guy. But it kind of feels like this title has fallen into the background just a little bit, especially because now she is going into the chamber. This is what I was talking about earlier with Bianca Belair. Sometimes you can do the same thing, but the situation around it just makes it feel different. So at the moment I am going to give it a down just because I can see the potential and we haven't reached it yet. But I cross my fingers and hope because again, in terms of talent, they all smash it. We then got this awesome video with the Street Profits who are basically like, look at all these wannabe tag teams and people just come together to be a tag team. You ain't got nothing on us. When we do come back, we're going to become the champions. I was like, all right, here's what we got to do. We have to keep this attitude. And in fact, it was so unexpected and it was so good, I'm giving it an up. In 30 seconds, I think I became the Street Profits' biggest fan. We also got a quick chat with the Motor City Machine Guns who do not like the Street Profits given what happened at the Royal Rumble. When Legado del Fantasma were like, oh no, you should fight us, or you should let the new teams have a chance. I was like, listen, Garzans, you are not a new team. You've been around for ages. I remember watching you during the pandemic. Santos Escobar then basically said he hated everybody. Point is, next week, it's the Guns versus the Garzans. We also got a big vignette focusing on Damian Priest, Braun Strowman, and Jacob Fatu because they are in that Elimination Chamber qualifying match. This is something else that deserves a salute. Made it feel like a flubbing big deal. When indeed we did get to our main event when it was Jay and Cody taking on Fatu and Tama, which means, abbreviated, it was Jack versus Fat. I mean, who saw that coming? Now, Jacob wanted to go after Cody Rhodes instantly, which was a terrific idea, because he really did whoop this guy's ass. And the commentators were like, oh no, Cody, he is still hurting from the Royal Rumble and his doctor said he shouldn't do this. But at the same time, Jacob still took a piece of him. Now, it did make me laugh because as soon as Tama Tonga tagged in, Cody started getting some shots, but Tama was able to calm that down when Cody decided, I think it's time for a hot tag. Here came Jey Uso and everybody went nuts. He got a hip attack and this cutter thingamajig when Jacob decided he was done, and he kicked him right in the face. I think you could describe it as super. Two also got rid of Cody Rhodes because screw that guy, but that was basically to create separation for around about 3 minutes so that Rhodes could get the hot tag. But we'd already had a hot tag, so I suppose this was the boiling tag? I don't know. This time he was ready with the disaster kick, although when he tried the crossroads, Tonga returned, and he took him out with a flatliner. And by this point, it looked like Jake and Fatu was going to shoot everyone, so Jey Uso panicked, and he got rid of his cousin. I actually think they may be brothers. I get confused because I am an idiot, just know they're part of the bloodline, and that allowed Cody Rhodes to take his med pack, he triggered his special move, he hit his crossroads on Tonga, 1, 2, 3. So this was just really fun, and I presume there wasn't going to be a post-match, and we were all just going to skip home happy, but that wasn't the case, because a hooded individual arrived, and it was making his big return, Solo Sikoa. I want to be a bit like Solo. You don't need to wear the hood anymore. Everyone knows who you are. I suppose he did get him past the useless wrestling security, because he then spiked Cody, who went down as he stared into the camera like, oh my gosh, I am so mad. No, I didn't need pop for all of this, because listen, even if we are doing Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at WrestleMania, Cena ain't back to the Elimination Chamber, so you have to do a program in the interim, and if you want to keep Solo Sikoa at the tippity top of the card, this is the way to do it. I didn't mind it at all. In fact, I made noises. I found it very entertaining. It also meant the SmackDown ended on a cliffhanger of sorts, which I'm never going to be mad at. So yeah, as a main event segment, I am going to give it an up. And I actually think it makes Solo Sikoa look pretty much like a badass. And I'm going to give it up for the SmackDown over the whole, because I think we took all the Royal Rumble stories and we just made them count. And Drew McIntyre being on this show just makes it better. He is really, really good. Now, of course, please do leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought about last night's episode of SmackDown. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is ups and downs to Monday Night Raw. But otherwise, have terrific weekends, my friends. See you soon.